Good afternoon, TubeViews. Puss is back to bring you the next installment of Why the Hell Did I Buy a BMW? Hello, Puss. Yep, she's out in the shed giving us a hand today. Yeah, okay. Hi guys. Thought we'd move on to video 2. Lock diff goes really well. We're doing well with it at the moment. Nicely destroying my tyres. About time to change the tyres. Apparently Loki had some corrupted footage in the last one, unfortunately, so you mightn't have seen the last of the bits with the exhaust, but that all went well too. Got me blasties on, fixed that rear bar from all the meltage issues, and it's looking pretty good. But today, to go with the coilovers, because when driving it, my word is it's snappy and still feels like it wants to kill me. So naturally, next step in the modifications to turn this thing into a drift vehicle. Coilovers. I opted for HSD. I did a bunch of research when buying the coilovers. I generally like my BCs or my D2s in the lower range stuff. You know, everyone wants fell and all that, but you know, not all of us can afford it, but one day. Yeah, so I did some research, and on the monoshocking and the price ranging, HSD were actually coming up with the best quality internals and shock that I could purchase for the price range. I'd have to buy BC Gold, so I got these for around about $1,500, $1,600 I think, so it's pretty good. The equivalent for BC would have been their Gold, so these came in at the BC Red cost, but have the internals and the build structure. You know, have a check out, you know, still coming with my pillow ball tops and stuff, camber adjust. So, you know, HSD did a pretty good job. They feel sturdy, they feel good. Yeah, but they came in at the same price as the BC Reds with the internal structures of the BC Golds. So having run BC Golds in my S13 and stuff down the back, we do still struggle with getting them off really solid. Like their lowest damper setting is still pretty hard. So I thought I'd give HSDs a go this time to see, with that saving of $300, but complete same structure, whether I end up with a better coilover for the dampening adjust that I'm kind of stuck with just solid in the S13 on the BC Gold. So all right, let's get stuck in and I'll kind of walk you through what we need to do to get this coilovered. All right, hang tight. First thing, I'm just gonna rip the wheels off. You don't need to see that, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, while I was off philandering about, Puss has removed the front wheels for me and organized my tools. Thank you, Puss. Yeah, so I guess just a quick rundown. If you are looking to do the coilovers on a Series 1, you pretty much need only a basic runner tools, which is pretty good for the front. They're definitely easier than the rear. So essentially you need 13s here. Beamers are pretty difficult, but also modular, which makes them kind of nice. So your E18s under here, you got to pop this off. Your E14s are these ones. Pop those off. This gets this support bar out of the road so you can actually get at the coilovers. These are 13s. On the backs here you got 18s and a 16 here. That's essentially all you've got to do to knock the front coilovers out of this. You know, naturally they are a clamp style, so we're probably going to need some hammers and stuff shortly, but we'll just get the rest of this dismantled first. Knock all those out. Yeah, but I mean, basic tools can get this car pulled apart. As long as you got e-torques, because they're not basic. But all right, let's get back to it. Quick tidbit for you is to just remember on the sway bar link, you do hold the back of it if you do want that to actually undo for it. And actually have it on. Ghetto, but just showing you what I meant, because otherwise it does free spin in the back of there. So you do need to hold the back of the sway bar link. That's just so you don't get caught up wondering why it's just spinning the nut and you can't actually get it off. Haha. All right, just got the tops to go. We've already got these ones off. Up to here. Well, I also apologize. Ever since moving into here, I've not been able to find my razor. So you get like BC Ben, BC Bloki. Oh well, I do need to buy another one because I cannot find it, but just to snap you back in real quick, I just thought I'd show you this too. Sorry if the lighting's not real good tonight. I might have to try and sort something. But because it is a clamp style, the way I get them out is you get a punch and put it in between the split in the back. And then you just kind of work that bad boy down with the hammer that you have available, i.e. so and so speak. I don't know what you can see there. So so on and so forth, and then you'll see it starts to crack the actual coil for you. And then it's pretty easy to make a bunch of noise. And just work it down, so on and so forth. And then we're pretty much got free of that there. That's pretty much how you work that one out of that, and so on and so forth. But once again, I've got to go up to the top and pop the top off so we have some movements. Looking at this, hopefully we can get this far enough down without popping a lower control arm. Oh, fingers crossed. I'll let you know. I will let you know shortly. Yes, agreed. There's not much we can do. BMW. Yum. Pussy grease. While we got one in, I just wanted to give you a couple of tidbits to watch along the way. You cannot adjust the camber on these once they're in, which is a bit of a pain. So you kind of have to have a wild guess at where you're going to want to go. I went 4 mils on my top hats, just as a first guess, because it's a bit hard to know until it all seats down what you're going to get. So you want to make sure you make that adjustment first. Second thing is you will remove this little bracket here, because it is replaced by the bottom of the coilover, which becomes the locker. So unlike the original Bilsteins, they've got them built into the shafts here. Ours will actually become, I don't know if you can see there, but ours actually lock in down here now and become the lockers, and this then becomes our holder for our wheel speed sensor. So that's one in there. Just remember those few things, just what I've kind of found along the way there. We'll get the other one in, and then we'll have a look at how we're going for heights. Yeah. You supervising? What have you found? Dangerous Australian insects? Oh no, now you've lost it. Now you look insane staring at a radiator. Or do I look insane talking to a cat? Either way, I am insane because I bought a BMW. But we do have front coilovers in this BMW now. It's not too hard. Front ones are pretty much in. Everything's fox tight, ready to drop it down and get our heights. So just the last bit of information for the front here. I just set the sway bar height to be the same original height it drooped to the lower control arm on the original shock. Seeing these ones have an upper adjustment to adjust your sway bar as well. So if you're wondering how I tackled that one, yeah, it's just got the original droop distance to the LCA from the stock setup. Yeah, see how we go. We might take a bit of adjustment, but yeah, essentially just got that gapping there, original. Move on to the rear now, and we'll see how difficult that is. Fronts weren't too bad, a little bit finicky, but they're in. Nice enough to let you kind of get there, but you see what I mean? It gets pretty difficult to get into these Allen keys. Alright, onto the bum. Wish me luck. Beamers require generally to remove a lot of their dumb boot trimmings, so I'll get stuck into that first and then we'll see where we get to. We have been joined by Loki finally. She's done reading graphic novels or...
Hey. Anybody that reads Omniscient, reads Viewpoint, knows the pain.
Anyone who owns a Beamer knows the pain.
Yeah.
Puss, you know the pain. Why did you buy a Beamer, Puss? Anyway, so we're on to the boot now. As I said, there would be a ridiculous amount of trimming to pull out, and I was not joking. Holy crap. So, you will need flathead, Phillips head, and we're into T's this time. Yeah, flathead, Phillips head, a T40. Get you most of everything out of the boot. What an excessively overdone boot. But that now allows us to see our coilovers. Well, allows me to see. You can't see anything because it's so dark, and I'm terrible at this. So, ha ha.
Isn't it cute? He's become an aspiring YouTuber.
I'm just having to take up the slack of someone else who's not making videos and doing their skyline because they're too busy reading graphic novels. All right, Puss, get onto it. Puss, where are you? You got coilovers to change. All right, guys, we'll tap back in when I have a bit more information on what's happening on the back here, but we're wheels out, boot trimming out. I have to go and figure out what I actually need to take all of this apart, so I'll touch back with you when I sound like I know what I'm doing.
This is a coilover install. I'm glad I do not own a Beamer.
This is just the fine things in life. See, I got my overly convoluted explosive battery. Do you have an explosive battery? No.
I have several other things that
Well, you actually do have a you know, different kind of... mine's a safety explosion. Yours is danger. Well, Loki's well cracking into hers. And we have gotten all the bits out of the back of the Beamer. Definitely a little bit more complicated than the front. So yeah, once you kind of like remove your plastics, remove your seal, remove your buckle things up the front, remove your clips, remove your sides, remove your rubbers, you can get at the top, undo those 16s. Then I tackled it by undoing the camber arms, or the lower control arm, sorry, but the camber bolt adjuster. So essentially just knock this puppy out and then ease the springs down with the jack. I had to take my exhaust off to be able to squeeze the bolt out because I was lazy and didn't want to take it all the way off. I just pried it down and made do. Then you undo the bottom of the shock off of this fella here. I undid the Torx and the 16s on the bottom just to make it easier to kind of weasel everything out. Then it kind of all just disassembles. Sorry guys. Once you do that, you kind of just have these out. They're kind of expecting you on the Beamers to rerun your old bits, so just make sure you switch these ones out. They just go in through these new, so you get rid of the old spaces, just chuck the new ones on through there, onto there. Those are pretty much ready to rock. These I just make sure we're starting at the same spot by holding like that and making sure they're squared out. I'm keeping the original lower rubbers in the car, but the top one's taking out because he's got their own. So we're about ready to start putting it all back together. But yeah, you kind of just need 21, 18, this one had 16s, but the HSDs are then 19s to put back together. And then the T12 Torx bit to take off the bottom bushes. All right. Let's start putting this bad boy back together as Loki's putting her cooling system back together.
Might get to drive a car.
Puss is slacking. Aren't you, Puss? Slacker.
Hello.
So I just wanted to run you through this bit quickly because this is probably the most important part about the rear. So once I've just set it to maximum camber on the low control arm, because my wheels are huge and I still don't think they're gonna fit, but that's another video story. So yeah, anyway, I just put the springs into my first attempted height, set it to maximum camber, and I just wanted to show you this bit because this is, before you put these in, this is kind of what you meant to do with these separated spring shock. So you're pretty much just going to take the entire weight of the spring until we know where the car is going to lift instead of the spring. I don't want to go a little bit apparently. Ooh, this is feeling like it. Alright, just heard that shock. Alright, cool. So we've just taken the weight off that. So this is our weighted height. And what you want to do, sorry, it's a bit hard for me to record and show you this at the same time, so I'll give you a bit of a rundown, then I'll get my measurement. But essentially from where the shock sits, up in that darkness that you can't see here, down to where it sits on the bottom, down in here, you just want to measure this distance, and that's going to be where you set those to start with, so that way they're correct for the spring height, and then you can move them in parallel to each other. But this is how you actually get your kind of first initial set on this separated system. Loki's putting along nicely.
Putting, very
Putting.
much putting.
Yes, no one's working particularly hard here. We're just cruising through, but I just wanted to show you this part of the install on the rear. So once you've got your shocks in, look, you'll have to edit this because I got it wrong. We had to do a retake, so we'll see how she goes. But the springs, once you've got them in, you pretty much just want to make sure that you just pretty much make sure there's no movement. And they're nice and securely in there. Another one with the Beamer one too, I'll just point out. HSD call this a lower, but looking at any other Beamers, they go this way around, so I switched it to being the upper. It also doesn't sit properly on the bottom, so hopefully that's what you're meant to do, because it seems to fit a lot better. But essentially what you want to do here is measure. Sorry. Well, you're measuring from this bottom pickup point. It's too hard to do there. So measuring from the bottom pickup point to this top pickup point here. I'll sit you down here for a sec. So on mine, we're seeing that is around 52. And then what you want to do on your coil over here, from those two spots, it's going to be down to 52. So I need to bring this one down a little bit. It was set too high. They do set them to minimum to start with. So yeah, they're in. Excellent. So looking good. Yeah, it all went relatively smoothly. You pretty much just got to compress this as you put it in. It is a bit of a bum, but it's not too hard to get in. Then just put it all back together, which is what we've done. Check out my cool wheels. So I think I had big problems fitting these bad boys on, because I think I went something with offsets a little bit too aggressive, even though I thought I was buying something for this. So we're going to chuck them on and see kind of on the initial hiding, because we're going to hopefully run them eventually, but we'll see how realistic this is. And all right, let's get these wheels on. Site supervisor says it's time for dinner. Who am I to refuse? I think it's time to wrap it up for the night. We're back on the ground. My first, you good? Look at that suspension. Didn't even move, puss. Didn't even move. But yeah, so our first initial height test seems pretty good. I'm gonna let it settle overnight. It's pretty late and I'm pretty tired and hungry. So's puss. So we're gonna head back inside and come back out tomorrow. And then we'll look at setting the height. So I'm a little bit more confident my wheels will fit, because at least they look beamery. They're going to be big, but we might have a lesson in rolling the guards a little bit tomorrow. So yeah, coilovers are in. Just need to do the adjustments and final lock-offs and stuff. All in all, I was just cruising with puss, so, but it was pretty long. It was a pretty intricate install, but you know, you got yourself 4 or 5 hours, you'll get them in there. All right, puss, let's go get dinner. Later, tube use.